that's like coming in, getting a cup of coffee. You like hand somebody a cup of coffee and then they decide whether they're going to pay for it afterwards. And you're like, well, I guess I just don't get paid for this one.
I don't like an insurance company, a business dictating what I recommend to you as a surgeon. And I had been burned so many times in the past by insurance companies when I was doing it personally. And patients that were told based off of their body surface area, you know, their the
Schnur scale.
Schnur scale. Like, okay, you have to take off 500 grams. You know, and I remember one patient, she had, I mean, literally really asymmetric breasts, but one was just, you know, 3 or 4 cup sizes larger than the other one. And I wrote to the insurance company and they said, well, you have to take off 500 from each side. I'm like, if I do 500 on each side, her left breast will be a complete mastectomy. She will have nothing. And they still said that I had to do that. And so it came the day of surgery. We got the letter and they said that. And I said, look, I'm not doing your surgery. I'm like, I do not want to do something that some guy who is just trying to make money is telling me what to do. So I canceled the surgery. And that was the last day I personally ever did an insurance case because I felt that it was dictating what I thought would be like optimal for that patient and for the results she wanted. And like you said, you know, like when I was in training and we did a lot of insurance, like, yeah, people come in, they need it for symptomatic relief and they're like, whatever. But I remember doing a breast reduction on a very young girl and she came back crying the next day. We took exactly the amount out that they wanted, but she had like nothing left. She was like less than a B cup, I think. And she was just bawling. She's like, I have nothing. I don't feel like a woman anymore. And that's again because an insurance company said we had to take off a certain amount. And so I feel like just with those experiences, I feel like it just really pits us as surgeons against our patients when really we have no control over that, you know, and it's great. And so I tell them, look, I'd rather you like, you know, we figure out a way to help you finance it or we do whatever we can to do it so you can get the surgery you want that's going to fit you. And I said, I don't insurance. And if not, I'll refer them to someone else who does, you know. So I don't want to leave them high and dry. But I'll say right now, like I have a breast reduction tomorrow. I do a lot of cosmetic breast reductions. And a lot of times we're doing liposuction around the breast, internal bra, fat grafting. So really it's like complete remodeling, but also, you know, lifting, reducing the size, but giving a really nice natural look. And patients are very happy with that.
Yeah. And for us, we kind of go in the other direction where I see somebody under insurance for their initial consultation. We go through all of the paperwork and I can make a real determination based on the type of insurance they have. It's like, is this likely to be covered? And we can start down that road, or we know it's not going to be covered based on your goals. And then we can just talk to them about a cash pay service. But yeah, it ends up being kind of one or the other once we start the consultation and go through all of our paperwork. And for us, we actually literally have like a 2-page sheet that's just a zillion questions, and it's a conglomeration of all the questions that all of insurances have asked us about breast reduction patients. And some of them are super duper weird, but they're all together. That way, when the patient fills everything out, we like have everything we need. So there's not have to bring the patient back like 3 times to ask more questions or more paperwork. It's just get it all together, send it all off in one, find out truly if it's something that's authorized that we can move forward with, or do we need to move as a cash pay option. But I always kind of wondered, yeah, with people who are doing cash pay stuff, if you see somebody who's like truly an insurance case, do you bring that up to them, right? Because I feel like there's going to be some people out there that will know it in their mind that it's an insurance case. And they're like, I'm just going to have this patient pay for this because I would rather just get paid for it.
I mean, yeah, for most part, people that come to me, they know I don't do insurance and I haven't done it for like 4 years. So they know that for one. And we tell them ahead of time too, like we don't do insurance-based cases. We're always willing to refer them. But people will still wait. They don't want to go anywhere else. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. And even when I was kind of transitioning, when I stopped doing insurance and that, same thing. I say, hey, like, I don't do this. Or to come up at the end of the consult, so can I go through insurance? I was like, well, like you can. I'm like, but I'm not currently an insurance provider, so I'm happy to refer you. So sometimes I would refer them to a couple of my colleagues that, you know, were in my practice. But yeah, I mean, I always want to do what's best for the patient, whether that's the results, their finances, whatever is important to them. But what I find is there's a lot of patients who want to go that route, and they do. So, yeah.
And it's always a question. It's like you never really truly know whether insurance will cover something until afterwards.
Until you're done, you're like,
which is always a little tough. I always kind of wonder that's like coming in, getting a cup of coffee. You like hand somebody a cup of coffee, and then they decide whether they're going to pay for it afterwards. And you're like. It seems like a strange business model, but it's the system that we currently work in.
I mean, some restaurant like Olive Garden, you pay at the end, you tap to pay. I mean, you could get up and leave, I guess, but you're kind of stuck there.
I think that's actually illegal. I think it's called
yeah, exactly.
Dine
that's the thing.
Dash.
So yeah, that's illegal. But if insurance denies you or doesn't want to pay you, like I guess that's not illegal. You did a service and they say no. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, it's also different depending on what insurance is, because with certain insurances you can back bill a patient, but other insurances you can't. So you're like, well, I guess I just don't get paid for this one, which is just the way it goes. I feel I don't look too terribly hard on what cases I've gotten paid for and which ones I don't. I ask our billing people like, hey, if there's something that you see that's consistently getting denied, bring it to my attention so we can figure out a better way to deal with it. But otherwise, I don't look at all of them because I just don't really want to know.
What other industry, like if you ask yourself, okay, an attorney, if he or she has 10 clients and 2 of them don't pay you after your services are rendered, or you have a restaurant and 10 of your customers in a given day don't pay for their food, like how would people look at that, and I feel like because we are doctors and we're supposed to, obviously we never do harm and we want to do what's best for patients, but I think people forget like we're also professionals, we've trained to do this and we have a job too, and it's a service. It's a transactional service as well for your professional experience and your work. Like it's weird to me that we're held to a different standard sometimes. It's like, well, you shouldn't expect to get paid. It's like, wait, why wouldn't I? Like, you expect to get paid if you're an electrician and you come and work on my house. Like it's weird to me just because we're doctors. I don't know.